What's up, everybody? Welcome to Game Moose episode 130. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Turford, alongside the Broccoli Brock McLaughlin.
Hey, you went to me first.
You were kind of like, who's he going to go to first? He's looking back and forth.
I was staring right in your handsome eyes, Ryan.
God, I'm so nervous now. I don't understand.
I'm in a weird mood today. Today's going to be great.
Oh.
I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
All right.
I'm feeling pretty good, too.
Yeah?
I was up until like 1 o'clock in the morning researching my genealogy, because what else are you going to do on a Saturday night?
It's true.
And, I'm pretty pumped. I'm pumped to tell you all about the history of the good people of Scotland.
This person who is really pumped right now, the disembodied voice you're hearing, the ghost with the most Drew McMillan's also here.
Oh, yeah. Introduce me. That's a good point.
It's all good. So on today's show, we are going to talk about some Uncharted weird things. Uncharted weird things. That's what we're calling it.
When you say Uncharted weird things, you're talking about the video game Uncharted and not...
Yeah.
And not like a thing that hasn't been charted by like a cartographer.
You are correct.
Is this a scoop on a new Uncharted game?
No, but we have two really weird Uncharted stories that are completely different from each other. So we'll talk about that in a bit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're also going to talk about Darksiders 3 getting a release date, because I thought that game was not coming out this year. It turns out it's coming out this year. Also, Brock is going to tell you probably about Fortnite, but I'm going to tell you all about Octopath Traveller. So we'll get to that later. But first, you can find, of course, I didn't forget, Drew. You can find the Game Moose podcast over at game-moose.com every single Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time, as well as on podcast services around the globe, including Spreaker, iTunes, all the good ones, not SoundCloud. We're not on SoundCloud. We're not on Spotify either. So don't look there for us.
Don't look there for us.
But look everywhere else.
Other ones.
If you like what we do, rate us on iTunes. Give us the old review if you like what we do. It really helps us out for sure. If you're watching this on YouTube, even though it's not a video this week, if you like what we do, again, like the video, subscribe to our channel, all that good stuff.
Ring the bell. Ring that bell.
Ring the bell.
That's what the kids say.
Ring the bell. Well, because YouTube is really weird with the subscription notifications.
Yeah.
My mom, of course, listens to the show through YouTube.
So bad for her.
Yeah, she is really like noticed that it stopped posting when our stuff goes live, because like the YouTube subscription algorithm has changed and it's really weird now. So you gotta hit that bell. You gotta hit that bell.
It's that adpocalypse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gotta hit that bell.
Everyone's got to get that. You got to get that affiliate link money.
Yeah.
So go to nd.com/game-moose and buy yourself a mattress on us. Get 3% off. Butt mattress.
You'll never sleep so well in your entire life. You'll sleep like a baby, just like you were born.
But only if you get some sheets from Brooklinen to go along with them. Use the promo code game-moose.com.
Yeah,
that's not actually a promo code.
No. I mean, really, let's talk about the real merch. The real merch is you get it from the Brockbox. The keyboard protectors.
Brockbox is doing numbers after last week's show, so just want to say thank you all for subscribing to Brockbox.
Absolutely. Thanks to everybody who came out to BrockCon. Sorry if you didn't make it into the venue. I know it was a little hectic out there.
I heard one person got kicked out for suggesting that they want to go to BrockCon.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm just going to say straight up, fuck fire marshals. Who cares about fire safety? You know, like, that's not a thing.
That's a really mean thing to say about fire marshals.
Everybody comes on, you just let everybody in the room and just have that VIP experience. So, yeah. I'm glad people got some exclusive Drew
We'll be back next year with an even bigger BrockCon.
That's
Yay!
right. Bigger BrockCon, smaller venue, so it's more intimate.
Maybe we'll let 3 people in this time.
Yeah. More people, less space.
I'm trying to get John Stamos, but we don't know yet. It might be a little early.
Stamos.
What about what's his face from your prediction from E3 this year?
Yeah. Maybe we'll get Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. That's what I was blanking on the name.
Yeah. We'll bring him to E3 next year.
All right.
And then your prediction will be correct.
Absolutely.
1 year too late.
As it always is. Thank you, Cooking Mama.
Anyways, speaking of 1 year too late segue, we're going to talk all about, Drew, on episode 59 of the Game Moose podcast, you and I created a little list.
Yeah.
The N64 Classic list.
Yes, we did.
We wanted to basically be 1 year ahead of when the N64 Classic would maybe be announced.
Yeah.
It hasn't still been announced yet.
You got to stay ahead of that curve.
But I have a feeling that either the N64 Classic or the Game Boy Classic will be announced this year.
There's not
one would
buzz.
assume.
There's not a lot of buzz about that right now.
Well,
not a lot of people talking
because
about
nobody wants the N64.
But that's what happened.
You know why?
Those graphics are bad.
Because the games were horrible.
Yes.
Well, the thing is that the same thing happened with the SNES Classic as well, where like they just announced it on a random Friday in the summer. And like no one was really anticipating it or anything. Like there were people writing articles about what should be in it, just like people are doing now for the N64 Classic, which is why I referenced that episode. So if you want to go back and listen to us talk about that, you can hear that. But inspired by that this week, especially since it is a very slow week in the world of gaming, we are going to come up with what should be in the GameCube Classic Edition. Because, if we're falling in line next year, we'll have a GameCube Classic Edition.
Moose Cube.
Yeah. See. So we need to know what games will be in it.
Yeah. I mean, I've already got my my awesome Game Moose Xbox One custom controller.
Yes.
So
if you want to see pictures of that, go to Drew's Twitter page @DMcMill.
Yeah.
And go check that out. Or I guess you posted that to the Game Moose Twitter, didn't you?
Yes, it's on the Game Moose
So
Twitter.
if you go to game_moose_cast on Twitter, you can check it out there. Anyways, let's get into this. Let's talk about it. So here are the rules. We have to come up with 21 games to be in the GameCube Classic Edition, because that's how many games were in the SNES Classic Edition. Similar to when we made the N64 list, we made it we made 30 games because that's how many games were in the NES Classic. So that's how what we're going to do. Before, on the N64 edition, we decided not to do licensed games. This time we're going to do licensed games. I feel like licensed games are on the table, especially because there's not that many good ones. And we're Nintendo here. We got like pockets full of money. We can get these licenses. No
Absolutely.
problem.
Yeah.
So they're going to jump on board.
Endless buckets of money.
So if we wanted a copy of Batman Dark tomorrow, we can have it.
Sure. Is that a thing that's worth a lot of money?
No, it's just a really terrible Batman game that's on the GameCube. In fact, it's probably the worst Batman game ever made. And I've played Batman Forever and Batman and Robin on the Genesis.
There's a really bad Batman game, beat 'em up on the Game Boy.
Yeah, there is too.
I don't remember.
It's still Batman Dark Tomorrow is still worse than that game.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. All right. So let's get the obvious ones, the really obvious ones, out of the way, because I think these are the ones that are no brainers, and we're going to sort of just talk about them as we bring them up. So
Sure.
I've got on my list Super Mario Sunshine. Duh. Mm-hmm. It's a Mario game. You have to have it.
It's not a Mario game. It's the Mario game, right? It is the Mario game for the GameCube.
But I thought it's the one that's the worst Mario game.
It is.
I heard
I
rumors.
never liked Sunshine.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it no matter how hard I've tried.
Nobody did, but
I would say Super Smash Bros. Would be the game for the GameCube.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're getting into that.
Okay.
yeah. What I mean to say is every Nintendo console has a Mario game,
Right.
has like the core Mario game for that console,
Right.
That's like representative of it. So like we've got. Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo. We've got Super Mario World for the SNES. We've got Mario 64 for the
64.
the Nintendo 64, and then GameCube was Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
Even though Luigi's Mansion was the first sort of Mario-ish game, was the launch title for that platform.
Yeah. Speaking of Luigi's Mansion, that's number 2 on my list.
Whoa, we got Mario and Luigi.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, it has to be there. It has to be there.
great.
You're Luigi. And it's funny because to me it's like the high point of like the Luigi's Mansion franchise. It's the first one. Like Dark of the Moon was
There's 2 of them.
Dark of the Moon was okay, but like the original Luigi's Mansion is a high water mark.
Fun fact though, it's Dark Moon because Dark of the Moon is a Transformers movie.
Oh, okay. Dark Moon. I prefer Dark of the Moon. I'm just going to keep saying that, which is also a terrible title for a Transformers movie.
It really is. It really is. The next one I have, Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's a Swish. You have to have it.
That's probably one of my
But I wouldn't want to go back and play that now that I played the HD one.
Yeah, it'd be tough to go back to because
It'd be really tough to get back
Especially with that sale upgrade, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, not only the sale upgrade, but also the Triforce Quest. Do y'all remember the Triforce Quest from that game? That takes for fucking ever. You have to just go swimming and fishing in random spots.
The sale also improved that too, because I mean, you could get to the islands so much faster.
Well, that quest wasn't even in the HD version. They removed it.
Well,
They replaced it with something else.
yeah, but I mean, essentially, you still have to go to the fourth floor.
But it's not nearly as
islands.
bad as that thing.
Yeah, but you definitively know where you're going as opposed to it being more random.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting around the sales makes that game like twice as fast, and has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next one I got on my list, Smash Brothers, as Brock mentioned. Smash Brothers Brawl, because this thing's going to come with 4 controllers when you get it. It's going to come with 4 GameCube controllers.
It's got 4 ports in the front. It's got to.
It's got it.
Yeah.
It's got Smash Brothers on it. It's got to come with 4 controllers.
Speaking of which, is the N64 Classic coming with 4 controllers too?
I mean, when we talked about it on our prediction show, I think it should.
Okay.
I think it'll come with 2. You got to buy the other 2.
Yeah.
Nintendo ain't going to give us 4 controllers.
$99
like, pay more.
each. $99 each.
Yeah.
And we'll buy it. And we will be dumb enough to buy it.
It's true. It's true. Speaking of which, I heard there's a big uptick in people buying the NES Classic controllers now that the NES Classic is actually readily available.
Right.
Like I saw someone buying like the Famicom controller the other day and being upset that they had to buy the Famicom controller because they were sold out of the regular controller. But it's like the Famicom controller looks cooler anyways. I don't know why they're upset about that.
The Famicom or the Super Famicom?
Famicom.
Okay. I don't like the Famicom controller. It's all red and white. It's weird.
No, well, it's like red and gold.
Yeah, it's unsettling. I don't like it.
Yeah. Next up, I mean, Drew, you'll back me on this one. Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2.
Yeah, I mean, they're Metroid games, so...
Yeah, you got it.
It's
It's not even that they're Metroid games. They're amazing games.
They're the only evolution of the Metroid franchise that we've gotten at this point, so I have to take it.
That's
Even
not
though
true. Other M evolved the franchise in many ways.
Yeah. You and I have a very different idea of what the word evolve means.
Well, I didn't. Hey, it doesn't have to be an evolve in a good direction.
All right. Kind of like Raichu.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to Pikachu?
Why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
Raichu is an abomination of
Yeah.
a Pokemon.
Speaking of that, speaking of Pikachu, but let's go off topic for a second. Did either of you guys see the new trailer for Let's Go Pikachu? With the new Pokemon hairstyles?
Oh yes, they have bangs.
Yeah, they look
Bangs
really
are not
dumb.
Cute on Pokemon.
They look really dumb.
Pokemon should not have
Well,
bangs.
especially on
Bangs are
Pikachu.
not cute on most people.
I think
or
the-
just
No.
things in general. Like, you have to be a very specific kind of human being.
I think the different hairstyles
that.
look better on Eevee than they do on Pikachu because they look more natural because of like the color differentiation.
I
Whereas like
disagree.
it looks
very
really
odd.
weird.
Eevee has a more
Pikachu.
human-like face, too.
Maybe because Pikachu never had any hair, it's weird.
Well,
that
that's
he
what I mean.
Has bangs.
Yeah.
It's all
Where's
very
he pulling
unsettling.
this out of?
I don't know.
I could see him with like a man bun. Sure.
Next thing you know, he's going to be wearing like a fucking detective hat and have the voice of Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
I'd be into that.
but that is a thing
Oh, wait.
that already exists.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So next one I had on my list.
Rum ham.
Speaking of licensed games,
Yeah.
I made sure to have this clause in here because EA, Star Wars, they're going to be on board with this.
Well, of course.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader.
That one of my favorite.
It's gotta be there.
like Star Wars, like sort of like arcade kind of
I'd
games.
take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd definitely take that.
It can't be doesn't need Rogue Squadron 3 because
No.
the ship combat in that game is awesome, but the on foot levels are terrible.
Yeah.
I even went back and played that like last month, and oh my god, it's even worse than I remember.
But can we really support a game that put Rogue Squadron into the grave anyway? Let's be real.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was Lair.
It's got to be no. Lair didn't put Rogue Squadron into the grave. Rogue Squadron did it on its
Squadron
own.
2 is so good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
such
3
a good
was
game.
no good.
Yeah, exactly. So the next one I had, you and I are on the same page with this. Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah.
Legend.
Skies of Arcadia was amazing.
The best part about it too is it's the definitive version of Skies of Arcadia because they added new content to it, and
Right.
the visuals look way better than.
This is a Dreamcast game, right?
It was a Dreamcast
Yeah.
exclusive, and then it came to the GameCube, and it's the only other system it's ever appeared on.
Well,
is
damn.
the GameCube, which is weird.
I love that game.
Yeah, it's amazing. That disc right now is super expensive too.
Yeah, that's a chase.
It's a very
chase
long
title for
game.
sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even me, who doesn't even like pirates, I love Skies of Arcadia.
Lots of people are trying to track that one down. It's
Yeah.
it's got a bit of a pirate feel, but
Yeah.
it's really
You get to fly on flying pirate ships.
yeah.
Yeah, it is quite piratey.
It's got equal parts like steampunky kind of nonsense in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's got amazing JRPG mechanics and a great story.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm in it for. The other RPG, though, I have to put on the system. Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah.
Because it's the third best Tales game. And it was amazing at the time. It was my introduction to the series, and it's in fact, it was the introduction for most people. And it was the first one that really evolved the series to make it what it is now. And I think it's definitely one of the better Tales games. So you got to put that on there. All right. So this is where we go off the board.
Are we done with RPGs?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I mean, I've got more.
Okay.
The one I have though, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance,
Yeah.
because it's a Nintendo first party game though.
I'm just saying I never played it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fantasy Star Online.
Oh, yeah.
Are they going to hook the online servers back up to play it?
Get this, still running on the GameCube because there's a fan-maintained server that you can still connect to.
But will Nintendo officially support that though?
Yeah, why not? They
That'd be
should do
amazing.
it. They should do it.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
The
Swing that big old
only, the
dick
only
around.
good MMORPG ever made.
Yeah.
That's not true at all. History has shown that you are incorrect, bro.
Ryan's face right
boy.
there was not happy when I said that.
I knew you were just trolling, man. I knew you were just trolling.
All right, what's next?
What about Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles?
Yeah.
Oh God, we haven't talked about Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
No, we haven't.
It was bad.
I don't think it needs to be on there. One, because it's not a great game. Number two, because it would require Nintendo to provide you Game Boy Advances with link cables.
Only if you're playing multiplayer. You can play the dog shit single player mode.
You mean
with CPU.
you mean how you carry the bucket while the computer defends
The
you?
character
Yes.
design was so brutal. Why would they look like animal people?
Well,
They looked like they were like a cross of a fox and a human.
The weird thing about Crystal Chronicles is I'm pretty sure it's the first game in that shared universe.
Yeah.
Where they sort of like set it up there, and then those like 4 species that are in that
Yeah.
are the ones that like go forward into
they're
a lot of
in
games.
because it takes place in Ivlis.
Yeah.
Which is the same place that Final Fantasy Tactics takes place, and Final Fantasy 12 and then 14.
Yeah.
They all take place in the same universe.
Yeah. So yeah, they've got like that's where they get the 4 species or whatever, the big bulky dudes and the
Right.
weird skinny elf looking
weird little people.
with like
That's
fox ears
I don't
and
know. I
shit.
hated the character design.
Yeah, I like
a lot.
how you look at a person got a weird animal butt plug all the time.
Yeah.
How's that okay? It's not okay. That game, interesting, is one of the few games I spent a lot of time on the GameCube with because my buddy he shelled out the cash to have two. He had
The Ultimate Set in it?
He had two SPs, and we would play together.
See, that would be really fun.
But here's the deal, though. Here's the deal with the SPs. They lived in his drawer all the time because he wanted to make sure they were there when he wanted to go play and they were ready to like be charged and stuff like that. So they just ended up being very expensive controllers that only worked with one game. It was horrible.
But to be fair, if he went out and bought Zelda 4 Sword Adventures, it would also work with that too.
That is true. And Zelda 4 Swords Adventures was a pretty cool game.
It was good.
It was cool, but it has the same problem.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So before I get into any more of mine, I want to hear what you guys think. What other games do you guys have on your list?
Best sports game,
Yeah.
Mario Strikers.
Mario
Yeah,
Strikers?
That game was
Really?
amazing.
Because I would actually argue there's a better sports game on the GameCube.
I hate soccer. I love that game. Are you going to say SSX Tricky?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to say Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. Yeah. That's my favorite Mario Golf game and probably like
Is
my
that-
favorite golf game, period.
Did that one have RPG elements?
It had light ones. The one that went heavy on them were the portable ones.
Okay,
So the
that's
Game Boy
what I
Advance
thought.
one and then the 3DS one. Both
Okay.
were heavy RPGs.
I'd take either.
Yeah.
I'd take either.
But you can't have either on this one. But yeah, well, actually, we should have Mario Strikers and
Yeah.
Mario Golf.
I would not take any of the Mario parties.
Yeah.
Mainly
Yeah,
because
they're not
all
very good
terrible
on
the GameCube.
That was when Mario Party started to jump the shark a bit. Because we talked about it on our N64 show. I think Mario Party on the N64 was really good. Like all the mini games were all really solid in those games.
Mario Party died at 3.
But yeah, like after 3, it was like, it just went downhill from there.
Garbage.
Yeah. I'm hoping that Super Mario Party, the one that's coming to Switch this year, like does a better job with things. Because it looks like it's going back to that style.
Right.
Whether or not the mini games hold up is another story.
I'd definitely take both Beautiful Joes.
Yeah.
I doubt we'd ever see them, but that would be amazing.
Well, it's
Beautiful
Capcom.
Joe is so good.
Yeah, Capcom was on board pretty heavily with the other 2 classic consoles, so I don't see why they wouldn't with this one. The other game I have from Capcom on here, though, is Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
Because that was like a touchstone game for this console specifically. Like back in the day, like that was the reason to own a GameCube was Resident Evil 4.
I mean,
So crazy that game came out on a GameCube in the first place.
Yeah.
It was
Or that it was an exclusive.
Yeah.
when it came
yeah,
out.
it was really, really
It was
weird.
part of the Capcom 5, like Beautiful
Really
Joe.
weird.
Yeah, it was. So GameCube was a generation I skipped. I've talked about this a few times. Like that, I didn't have a GameCube. I didn't have an Xbox. I didn't have a PlayStation 2. But my buddy had a GameCube, and so the games that I played were the games that he had when we went up to his cottage, which is where he had his GameCube.
Okay.
And like. Yeah, like when Resident Evil 4 came out, that game we fucking marathoned in a weekend, and it was like staying up until like 5 o'clock in the morning, getting like smoking way too many drugs, getting like scary paranoid because we're sitting there and it's pitch black outside and we're in the middle of nowhere and we're like,
so many Doritos.
what if the zombies come here, man? Just jamming pizza pockets in between rounds, taking turns, Every time that guy opens up his trench coat, you're like, oh, is he going to show us his dick?
What are you buying? What are you selling?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy was weird.
He's so good. He's so good.
What you buying?
What are you buying?
I kept saying his dick, and he kept not giving it to me. So I don't know. I love that game though. It was instant classic. Like, and it went forever.
Yeah.
Like just when you thought you were there, like. How much shit can be in this little town?
Once you get out of the castle, you're like, what?
Yeah, like
there's still so much more to this game. There's a prison island.
That whole sequence in like the old Umbrella facility on the island with like the first generation like super zombie things where you need like
the regenerators.
Yeah, where you need the scope to shoot the fucking the invisible Las Plagras off of their bodies.
Yeah,
that was so amazing. They've never done anything that good since then. That was so scary.
Yeah,
and it was the game that became the template for Resident Evil games after that.
For better or for worse.
I think for better. I think they fucked up after that. I think it was on them. Like Resident Evil 5 had some great ideas, but they made it too actiony, and they forgot about like the
co-op stuff didn't really work with that game.
Yeah.
Like having to share your inventory with the AI is like really dumb.
It's always a fucking nightmare.
But then Resident Evil 7, I think, was a really good return of that series. I think that game
for sure.
is still fantastic.
Because they got back to like
which is much different though.
Yeah, keeping it claustrophobic, keeping the pacing. The one thing that they had in common with that one, right? Like, and then there was like layers of strategy involved in how you dealt with the not zombies.
Right.
Setting people on fire was very, very satisfying.
Yeah.
It was just. I think it's a brilliant game. I think if anything, it's almost a tiny bit underrated.
Right.
I think a lot of modern games
or I feel like a lot of people don't look back on it and then feel worse about it than
it was the first game that ever did camera like that, no? Or like the over the shoulder kind of like that? Like shooter?
There were other games before, but there's like the first like prominent game that did that.
Right.
It was also like the first game that did QuickTime events, which we all hated after Resident Evil.
Who could ever forget the first time you see that chainsaw guy?
Yeah.
That thing was fucking terrifying.
Instant kill.
Did anyone have the chainsaw controller?
No.
I'm surprised you did, Ryan.
Oh, they were so hard to get even back then. And then now they're like $400.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're definitely.
What did it do?
It made chainsaw noise.
And it made chainsaw noise.
Yeah.
It just felt awkward
to hold. You
can
play with it?
Yeah, you can.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's actually a GameCube controller with a chainsaw on it. And actually they made a PS2 one as well when it eventually made its way to PS2.
Did you have the Wavebird controller?
No.
Because I never got that.
The Wavebird, another innovation that like was huge. Like they were the first ones to do first party wireless controllers and do it really, really well.
Because we used to play, me and my friend Brad, we used to play with wireless PS2 controllers, but they were like third party ones. And they had like just enough lag to be noticeable and make playing fighting games.
Like the old school ones use things like IR bars and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And again, they're all third party.
Yeah, if you like move your hand like ever so slightly, it would like cut out essentially.
I still think one of the worst controllers ever made is a GameCube controller. I hate it so much.
Really?
I cannot stand it.
I actually really like that controller.
There are parts of the GameCube controller that are really clever. I mean, you can see sort of the direction they were going. It's a half step between the N64 and the what eventually would become the modern controller template.
Because it's still a dual analog controller, unlike the N64 controller, which really hurt it at the time. Just like the Dreamcast was the same way.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Like people talk about how awful the N64 controller was at the time. It was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Nobody put an analog stick on a controller like that before.
Yeah.
Right?
Because that was before the PS1 had the the analog controllers.
Well, because the PS1 didn't do DualShock until way afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Until even after the PS1 launched. It was PS1, it was like the original, basically they copied the Super Nintendo controller because essentially they had been developing that platform with a Super Nintendo controller because it was originally a Nintendo product for a long time. And then eventually they just copied, everybody does that. They just keep copying. But that was at one point where like Nintendo fell behind a little bit. When everyone realized, like dual thumbsticks is where you want to go for 3D control. And they kind of did that with the N64 with the C buttons.
Right.
The C buttons essentially were, a second stick, but just digital, not analog.
Right. And some of the games utilize that much better than others.
Yeah, I mean,
like Perfect Dark, for example, actually did it really well.
Sega eventually also knocked that off with their dual analog stick, which was which was packed in with Knights.
Right.
Like shit was revolutionary.
Yeah.
But the weirdness of having like the big button in the middle and the weird buttons around it on the GameCube.
You know what's the weirdest thing to look back on the N64 is that the fact that the middle of that controller is just the nunchuck. The Wii nunchuck.
Yeah.
It's literally the same.
Yeah. Playing like GameCube, we're going to bring it up, I'm sure. Twin Snakes.
Yeah.
Playing Twin Snakes with the GameCube controller.
Well, let's talk about it now. Because that was
I
my
wanted
next
to
one.
throw myself off a fucking bridge.
Twin Snakes was really good, though.
It was
such a good game.
But the controller felt so weird. It was so foreign because I had spent so many years playing with the PlayStation controller. It was so bizarre. To all of a sudden now I'm playing with the GameCube controller. I'm like, what is this button layout?
I felt the same with Metro Prime. It's why I could never get into it. I couldn't get the controls working.
Yeah.
I could not figure out the controls in that controller together.
Yeah.
Twin Snakes was amazing, though.
Twin Snakes? Developed here in Ontario, in Kitchener, Ontario.
Dennis Dyack.
Did not know that.
The infamous Dennis Dyack. Yeah, it was Silicon Knights.
Silicon Knights.
It was.
That was back when they were a good studio.
Yeah.
Before they made Too Human.
Yeah. That was when they were working on. There was like the side project to Eternal Darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Eternal Darkness got to be on there too.
Yeah.
Because Eternal Darkness, an amazing, amazing game.
Are we ever going to see the sequel to that game that Dennis Dyack keeps trying to make? He keeps trying to kickstart.
No, but he wants to kickstart a new Too Human game.
Nope, thanks. I'd rather Eternal Darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently,
needless to say, unless Nintendo owns the IP Eternal Darkness.
Yeah.
Not them. So they can make another one if they wanted to. They just don't.
Funny thing is, when I graduated from my film school program, there were at least 3 people I knew that interned at Silicon Knights.
Okay.
And one person who stayed with them for a little bit. I should message him on Facebook and be like, hey, so what was it like working there, man? What was that all about?
What was X-Men Destiny all about?
Yeah.
What was the story with that game?
That was no good.
Ooh, what about Killer 7?
Killer 7's an interesting one.
I like Killer 7.
I liked that game too.
It went on to other platforms, though, right?
No. It's coming to PC this year.
What?
It's coming. They just announced it. They just announced it a couple months ago at the NIS press briefing before E3, and it's coming to PC exclusively. But it's the only other platform it's ever appeared on because it was a GameCube exclusive, so it's never been on any other platform at all.
Weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Nope.
Oh, that's so bizarre.
Yeah.
I really like that game.
Yeah, because that was before Grasshopper Manufacturer would actually make games for other consoles because that was before Lollipop Chainsaw and Shadows of the Damned and all those other games.
It's a very Grasshopper Manufacturer game though. It is arguably the most. It's sort of like the seed of that tree when you got into Lollipop Chainsaw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You could see where they were coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the other game I got.
Heroes. Yeah.
Destroy All Heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, No More Heroes.
No More Heroes. No, not Destroy.
Not Destroy All Humans.
Destroy Humans. Good game. Real good game.
I haven't
Is it?
mentioned Pikmin yet.
I know.
Only because I've never understood Pikmin.
I just
don't get it.
The problem with Pikmin is that it doesn't feel like a game that should be on consoles. It feels like it should be a PC game because it's like a strategy game. I didn't have Pikmin on my list.
I wouldn't
because I don't have a strong attachment to it. Unless you guys feel differently.
I definitely think we'd see it on the console.
Oh, it probably would be.
100% see it.
But this is our list, Brock.
Yeah.
We can choose what games are on it.
Well, I wouldn't put it on it because I'd put Paper Mario instead.
Thousand Year Door.
Thousand Year Door, boy.
The absolute best Paper Mario game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hands down.
I've actually never played it.
Oh my God,
It's a weird game.
it's fantastic.
I kind of feel like you have to have all the Nintendo classics.
You
on
really
it, right?
do, yeah. That's the whole reason why I would put Fire Emblem or
Double Dash.
The Double Dash is.
We haven't talked about Twilight Princess.
I never liked.
See, the problem with Twilight Princess having on this, I feel like they're going to save that one for the Wii Classic.
Yeah.
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 It was a Wii game more.
Yeah, it straddled both generations. I would much rather have played it on the GameCube than the Wii because I want to play it with fucking motion controls.
Yeah. Well, that's why the HD version of Twilight Princess was great.
Yeah.
Because you could play it on the Wii U, and at least it wouldn't be terrible.
It's one of my least favorite Zelda games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That beginning, it just goes on forever, and the tutorial is just
so
4 hours
slow.
long. Yeah, it's really slow.
Have they ported any of these things to the Switch yet?
No.
No. They're not going to.
I don't think
probably
we said
for a while.
one game they ported to the Switch.
No, we haven't. Yeah, none of these has been ported to the Switch. And in fact, I don't think any game on this list.
Wind Waker
will be for a
HD.
while. Wind Waker HD is on Wii.
Okay.
Well, sorry,
Wii
Wii
U.
U. Yeah.
It is on Wii U, but I could have sworn that they were going to do a
Switch
version.
I might.
Yeah.
I mean, they might eventually, but the problem with that is that game was heavily designed around the two-screen setup with the Wii U.
Yeah.
And same with Twilight Princess was the same way.
I don't know. I think
It'd be tough. No, I mean they could.
So was Captain Toad, and they figured that out.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they could
Go play
design it
Captain
around that.
Code.
Captain Toad just came out. Woo!
Go just came out.
Treasure tracker.
So I have a couple third-party games I want to throw in here.
Yeah.
Number one, Soul Calibur 2, because it was the best platform to play Soul Calibur 2
With
on,
Link.
because you could play with Link.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Soul Calibur 2 is an amazing fighting game.
As opposed to playing with Spawn
Yeah.
on the Xbox.
You know what the best part is, Drew?
What?
That was the version of Soul Calibur 2 I had.
I had both. I want the Link and the Spawn version.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the PlayStation version was.
It was Heihachi from Tekken.
I could care less about that.
He was in fact, I don't know if you know this, but on Xbox Live now, there's a re-release of Soul Calibur 2 that they remade on 360. It's a back compat game, and it's the PS2 version with Heihachi in it.
That's
Not
so
Spawn.
fucking
so
weird.
weird.
Because he was the only character, only one of the three that they could license for the Xbox version.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. Other games I wanted to throw in there, of course.
Was it Master Chief in one of them?
No, there was a Spartan in Dead or Alive 4.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of. Yeah, the lady Spartan.
Yeah.
They had to make her a lady so you could be like, hey, her boobs are bouncing under that armor.
But you couldn't see them because they were underneath the armor.
Yeah.
But you knew they were.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, you knew
You
they
know what
were
I'm saying?
because you wouldn't wear a bra under that armor.
No, dude.
Man, no
They'd be
daps,
flippity
not.
flopping
Yeah,
all over the
boom,
place.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Another
That's what Dead or
third-party
Alive's
game.
about.
Another third-party game, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Oh yeah.
So
Gotta
good.
have that.
So good.
You gotta have that.
Yeah, I think easily, like, when they revived Prince of Persia, that's the best one.
That's I like the second one a lot, but the first one is great.
What was the second one? The one with the bad prince,
The-
right?
Yeah. When he goes fucking metal.
Yeah.
The Warrior Within.
Yeah.
The Warrior Within.
He listens
The
to
one where-
Slayer once
No.
and just starts killing.
You mean Godsmack because the same "I Stand Alone" song just rolls over and over and over again?
Yeah.
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 He gets very dark. He gets a really cool haircut.
So that's
No,
pretty
he
much.
doesn't get a haircut. He gets the opposite of a haircut. He
Yeah.
just lets it
He
go.
get-
Wow.
It goes a little longer. It's like, I'm going to kill all you motherfuckers.
He's all Jason Momoa on you.
They really went dark on that series quick.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we got a good prince. Now he's gonna be evil.
That was the thing at the time, though.
That was it was
What was
the
popular.
height of like the metal-y grim darkiness.
And then like when they did the Two Thrones, which is the third one, they like they put it like right in the middle between the two, which was weird.
yeah, Two Thrones wasn't good.
What about Billy Hatcher? Billy Hatcher was great.
Was it though?
Billy Hatcher.
Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. It was a new Sega franchise, exclusive to the
It was
GameCube.
fun.
How many sequels were there?
One.
I don't know if you can call that a franchise.
Well, so damn it to start a new franchise.
There was what was the other one? Chia Robot?
Chibi Robot.
Chibi Robo.
Chibi Robo.
Chibi Robo is a cute fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got, a little bit of like,
Was that Sega too?
No, that was Nintendo first party.
Oh.
yeah.
And yeah, that would
right,
that would actually probably be on the actual version.
Chibi Robo
of
is
the
a
GameCube.
statue in Super Smash, right?
He is, but he also has like 3 other games. They're all portable games though.
Never played any of them.
Yeah, like he just had there was a Chibi Robo game last year.
Oh.
Ziplash.
I don't
which
think I
was
ever
like
played it.
It was literally Bionic Commando except worse.
Don't you clean vacuum the house and stuff and put things away? That's
Yeah.
like your
Well,
responsibility.
Yeah, that's what you do in the original Chibi.
Yeah, you're
Robo.
like a 6-inch
The rest
robot?
of them are like side-scrolling like action games where you like go and explore the world of Chibi Robo.
Oh.
Yeah, outside the house.
Chibi.
Yeah. All right.
What about, there's no Choo Choo Rocket on this platform.
No, that's only
What
on
about Super Monkey
Dreamcast.
Ball? Also a game I never got into.
Space Channel 5? Was there Space Channel 5?
No, only on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also, I think that's on Xbox 360 as well, though.
I knew it was ported to something. It was on PS2.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a PS2 release
Yeah.
of,
Now, Drew,
and a Game Boy Advance version of Space Channel 5.
keeping with our tradition from the N64 Classic,
Yeah.
where we nominated Superman 64,
Yes.
I feel it is our due diligence
Yeah.
to once again have another terrible DC game on this list.
Keeping up with the Justice League.
Aquaman Battle for Atlantis.
That's right.
Has to be on this system.
Agreed.
Aquaman Battle for Atlantis is probably the worst. I would say it's the second worst or the worst game I've ever played.
Wow.
Ever.
Bold words.
It's really, really, really bad.
And this guy's played Bubsy, so
Really bad. Yeah.
think about that.
Drew, I've played Bubsy 3D.
Yeah.
I think this game is worse than Bubsy 3D.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's the thing. I think Superman 64 and Aquaman Battle for Atlantis are like probably the 2 worst games I've ever played.
Yeah.
And they are like neck and neck for each other. That's why I couldn't decide which one's worse.
You know what's really funny is that there's a Superman game for the 360.
Yeah, Superman Returns.
Also very, very bad.
You know what the best part about Superman Returns is?
What?
On the 360? The final boss in that game is a tornado.
Cool.
And you have to stop a tornado from destroying the city. It's really bad.
Yeah, and you punch it?
Yeah, and throw cars at
Do you
it.
know how many times you fight Metallo's robots?
Yeah, a lot.
Like 300
A
times.
lot. That was an EA game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just a laundry list of bad DC games. I'm hoping that for whatever
It's
next
just like their movies.
whatever next classic console we come up with, we should try to just like go through the whole Justice League because guaranteed we
Well,
can.
the next one up, Drew, is the Wii. There's
Yeah.
lots of games to choose from that are really bad
Is there
on
a
that.
Flash game?
We should
There
also
must
do
be
it.
There's
Flash
a,
game out
no,
there.
there's a Green Lantern game though that's really terrible.
Right.
We could also do a Game
That
Boy
was a
Classic.
tie-in with the
That's
movie,
true.
though, no?
Yeah, it was a tie-in with the movie.
Yeah, and it was bad. It was real
Well,
bad.
of course.
Well, the Thor God of Thunder game that was also on the Wii, also really bad, which was also tied in with
Wii
the
has a
Thor movie.
lot of bad games.
The Wii does
Wii
have
has an abundance
But yeah,
of
we
bad
could.
games.
Yeah, I think we should probably do the Game Boy Classic next. But yeah, I think
But the question is, if we do the Game Boy Classic, do you roll in Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games all into one?
What's too
No,
many?
I think Color.
it would
maybe,
be Game Boy and Game Boy Color. I
but
think.
cut the Advance. Because Advance had so many other good games.
Yeah, very different.
Well, and the
games.
Game Boy Color specifically only had like a couple like
Big ones.
top tier games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of them were the rest of the games I can imagine on there being like regular Game Boy games.
Yeah.
But yeah, that we've gone well over 21 games, so I think we've got more than enough games for this console.
Excellent.
Unless there are any others you guys want to touch on before we go.
I think I'm at. We haven't said Animal Crossing, but I'd fully expect Animal Crossing to be in there.
yeah, I think they might not include it because it has the NES games in it.
Oh, right.
I
That's
think,
right.
Or you could literally play like 30 NES games.
Well, I mean, they could
I love
easily
them.
take that out,
Yeah, they could probably. The only way I could see them putting it in there is if they remove that.
which would suck.
Yeah. If only your GameCube Classic came with a whole bunch of NES games, which would be amazing. So,
We have quite the list of different games there. I'm trying to think what else.
because I had a couple here that the honorable mentions.
Okay,
We'll say
honorable
this.
mentions. Let's do that.
SSX3.
Okay, yeah.
It's much better on the Xbox, so that's why I'm like,
Right.
I would.
Yeah, a lot
be
of them I
hesitant to put
can't
in there.
remember if I played them on the GameCube or the Xbox, but I
Yeah.
feel like I probably would have bought them on the Xbox.
Yeah, but that's the problem with like Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, for example.
Right.
An amazing game, not on the GameCube though.
Right. Like, I'm not going to say Beyond Good and Evil on the GameCube, because
Yeah.
the control scheme for that was awful.
Right. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance though was a really good game on the GameCube.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, it was. For those of you who don't know what Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is, it's basically like a Diablo style Baldur's Gate game, and it's awesome, and it's really fun to play co-op.
I used to love Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
That was the last game in the Baldur's Gate series.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They haven't made another one because it was BioWare.
Okay, right.
And then actually, it wasn't BioWare who did Dark Alliance; it was another company. But like Wizards of the Coast, which owns the IP for Baldur's Gate, just doesn't make that
Just
many
a real
games
shame.
anymore. Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 2. So good.
I know. Shadows of All, man. It's
So
a really
good.
game. Other games similar to that, though. X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse. Did you ever play that?
No, I did not.
So basically, it was similar to Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, except with like every X-Men character you can think of.
Okay. Was it cell shaded almost?
It was kind of cel-shaded.
I think I remember it. And you
Yeah.
had like the 90s, not the 90s uniforms, it was like the ultimate
Well, you could
uniforms?
choose. It started with the Ultimate uniforms,
okay.
but then
I
you
know
could
you don't.
go to like the 80s and 90s
Right.
outfits. Yeah.
Okay.
Really fun game if you like X-Men for sure.
It wasn't just on GameCube though.
No, it wasn't
It was on
just
Xbox,
GameCube.
too.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
on
okay.
Xbox and
Yeah,
PS2.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like most of these other ones I have on here are the same way. Like the Resident Evil remake as well was another
Yeah.
one I had as well, which is amazing. God, I love the GameCube. It's such a good console.
I love the GameCube.
Yeah.
I had a hard time getting into it, but when I finally did, it was a really cool console.
Yeah.
Had some great games.
You could also add a million Game Boy Advance games to this list too with the Game Boy Player,
That's
which you get for your
right.
GameCube as well.
I never had that.
Really?
I think my neighbor did.
Yeah. I mean, it was hard to come by, especially because like if you try and buy one now too, the issue with it is it requires a startup disc in order to actually run,
Oh.
and you actually have to buy the base and the starter disc. But most people just sell the base and not the starter disc.
Oh.
The starter disc is like $200 on eBay, whereas the base is like $20.
Was there ever a reason why they decided to go with the small discs?
It was for copy protection at
Oh.
the time, or that's what Nintendo said.
That's what they said?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Interesting.
But to be fair, they could hold more than like some of the PS2 discs, though.
Huh.
So it was like basically any of the blue older PS2 discs.
Yeah.
Like they had less space than the GameCube optical discs, which is why you actually got some like really sharp looking GameCube games.
I remember the first, like, GameCube games were very long.
Yeah.
Thousand Year Door was
I don't know.
super long.
Yeah. Well, and even something like Tales of Symphonia, that game is like a 90-hour game.
Yeah, Skies of 80 hours. It was so long.
Yeah. Or even
Resident Evil 4 was long.
Like Wind Waker.
Yeah.
Long ass game. Especially
that's because it was so slow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was quicker than fucking Twilight Princess. Okay,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but the end of that game just takes forever. Unfortunately. So we're gonna move on. Drew unfortunately had to step out for 1 second. So while we do that, Brock, we're gonna talk about what we've been playing.
Okay.
So Brock,
yay!
What have you been playing?
Been playing Fortnite Season 5.
What?
Fortnite just became even better. I know what you're thinking at home. How, Brock? Because there's so much more to do.
See, that's the thing. I haven't paid attention to any of the Season 5 stuff, so you're going to be my information source as to what's new in Season 5.
All right, hold on. I have some notes written down for this because I knew you'd ask me. So Fortnite now, the map is way bigger. There's 2 new locations, including a beach, which is exciting. There's also vehicles that are motorized.
Wait, do they actually work? Can you actually get them in?
You can drive around. There's an all-terrain cart that's so good.
That's awesome.
It's so much fun to play in, and your passenger can sit there and shoot people.
That was one of my complaints about Fortnite, is that it felt like it was really missing vehicles.
Yeah.
So now that has vehicles.
It's got vehicles now, and for some reason the roofs are bouncy, so you can bounce on top to get up to like higher places.
Ooh.
Yeah, the map is now huge. It's amazing. There's like toys now, but are only available to people that buy the battle pass. What do you call it? The full version.
Yeah.
So those are like, they just work like emotes, but they allow you to hold things like a yo-yo or something.
Well, yeah, a lot of that cosmetic stuff that's unlockable is all through battle pass.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, and now I'm fully in on that game.
Yeah. Also, you bought the season's battle pass?
Oh yeah, I have everything.
Nice.
There's motion controls in the Switch version that aren't horrible. I don't love them.
Are they kind of like the Splatoon ones?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't hate them, but they're not great. The weekly challenges have been changed. There's 2 sections now for free and battle pass, so everyone can compete. Emoting will now interrupt sprinting. Big change.
Yeah.
Big change.
Does that mean you can just emote and then stop yourself? Like, that's a way to just stop?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really weird.
You can earn XP for reviving teammates now in 50 versus 50 and teams of 20, which will help because most people just leave you dead. Auto fire has been added to mobile platforms. There's so many things. And
That's a lot of stuff.
The Ragnarok legendary outfit is so cool that I want to grind for it. I will never get that far.
What's it look like?
I have a photo. You have a big, huge skull head that emotes blue.
So that's pretty
really cool.
That's really cool. It's like a skull with like blue hints for. I'm describing it for the audio listeners that can't see the picture.
Yes. There's also rifts that you can use to transport up into the sky and like jump around the map.
Nice.
Which are very confusing. I haven't fully figured out how they work, but they're really cool. Hence why there was like Fortnite stuff in real life, like the burger in the desert and the pinatas around Europe. It's because there's now a time continuum between the Fortnite universe and our universe.
Ooh.
So things are coming through the rift.
So when you teleport, you just teleport into our reality and you show up in some random place?
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's so good. The game feels so much quicker. The only thing they still held back on is shotguns. Shotguns are not as strong as they used to be, which is a real pain.
To be fair, they were very overpowered. They were really overpowered.
They were very overpowered. You could kill guys very easily.
If you get anywhere close to someone, it was like one shot. Yeah. Even if they had shields.
Yeah. So shotguns have been totally nerfed.
Yeah. But I mean, that balance stuff's going to change all the time too.
Yeah. So, the game's constantly changing.
They'll find whatever is the next best thing and then nerf that eventually.
I can't believe how quickly the seasons are coming though in Fortnite.
Yeah.
We're already on season 5.
Well, it's
season
true.
4 wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Like that was when it started in March, April?
Yeah, like that was like maybe a month or two before the Infinity War event.
Not even.
Yeah.
It was pretty
close, I remember.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
So we're really moving
We're really moving along.
Yeah.
It's because they got to sell those battle passes, Brock.
Yeah.
They got to get those people to buy in every 2 months.
I'm buying in, man. I'm sold.
They can see that money.
I assume the next update will be something Halloween related. Mm-hmm. They're really going the Blizzard way here, and then we'll get a Christmas thing going on.
Well, yeah, they're probably. It sounds like the World of Warcraft thing's happening, where like there was like a seasonal thing like every month, kind of.
Yeah. Well, what season are we in Overwatch?
Overwatch. Right now, they're doing. I don't remember what competitive season number they're on, but they're not doing a specific event right now. The last one was the Overwatch anniversary, which was in May. So they actually usually they don't do a ton of events. It's usually like once every 2 or 3 months. There's usually an event in Overwatch. It's not as frequent. Well, actually, no. I guess it is as frequent as the Battle Pass. Yeah,
I think we're on season 6 of Overwatch.
Right.
It's really creepy.
I don't pay attention too much to the competitive Overwatch stuff.
Okay.
So that's why I just haven't kept track of that. But the game looks totally different now. If you log in and play Overwatch now.
Oh yeah,
totally
I did.
Different.
I got very drunk the other night and started playing it. And it's a very different game.
Yeah.
It's just the playstyle is incredibly changed.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Yeah, they've really made a ton of tweaks
There's so many healers now.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be Mercy.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah. Well, because Mercy was bad for the longest time.
Right. And now she's overpowered
now she's really
almost.
good. Well, she's not overpowered, but she's really good. And it really just depends on your team's meta. In fact, a lot of teams now run with 2 tanks and 2 healers, and then you'll usually have one assault person.
I like the new hamster character, Hamtaro or whatever.
I still haven't played as him yet.
It's really weird.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm all for Overwatch animals showing up.
I'm still maiden Farah. I mean, she's still my go-to person because I just like jetpacks and rocket launchers.
I like Warthog. He's easy to use.
Yeah,
and blow shit up. But he's changed too because his specials are different now.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
Well, it's also Symmetra, who I really loved playing as for the longest time. She's completely different now. She's a support character now rather than she was a healer. She fell under the healer section before, but now she's a defensive character now.
Weird.
Which is what but that's the way she was kind of designed. She was just mislabeled, I guess, at the very beginning. But they've changed a lot of her abilities around and stuff too, and now she's much more versatile. Because before she was very focused on being the best, one of the best defensive characters. If you were had to defend any point, she was one of the best characters for that. But now she's much more versatile. You can actually use her on attack now, and it wouldn't look weird. Unlike Torbjorn though, where you still use Torbjorn on attack, it's what are you doing? Because you're not going to keep building the turret as you move forward. That's dumb.
Yep. And that's our Overwatch talk.
Yeah, that's our Overwatch talk and our Fortnite talk.
Drew's still gone. I ran out of things. Drew's back.
Hey, oh my God,
we just got done our Fortnite conversation.
Yeah.
Season 5.
Fortnite in the real world. Did you drive a golf cart through a rift, Brock?
Not yet. I haven't driven it through a rift. The rifts are very confusing.
Yeah.
But the golf carts are amazing.
The rifts are random teleporting things. Yeah.
That throw you all over.
Yeah.
They didn't do the real world thing that I was hoping they were going to do, some kind of as a promotional thing, do a Fortnite theme park pop up somewhere or something.
Like a Banksy theme park?
Yeah, they gotta do that, man. That would be hilarious.
Not yet.
Yeah, maybe they do.
Not yet.
What was the deal with all this stuff appearing in the real world?
It's because the rift. It's a rift from our world to Fortnite world, so things are going through the
they're the same world
continuum.
Well, I want more stuff to come over here, so then we can go
There's pinatas all over Europe right now.
Play paintball somewhere in the desert with the Fortnite map.
I doubt it would come to Toronto.
Yeah.
If only.
That's also true.
I don't feel like they love us enough.
No. Toronto, small city.
So Drew.
Yeah.
Now that Brock's told us what he's been playing, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? All right, guys, I'm going to show you something on my phone.
You've been playing Fortnite too, haven't you?
No, I have been playing Command & Conquer Rivals.
What? But you talked so much shit about that game.
Yeah, because it's not good. But I at least had to
give it a shot.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where they're going with it. It's definitely it's got that...
it's an acquired taste?
Not an acquired taste, but it's definitely got that Clash of Clans kind of vibe to it.
Okay.
They're trying to make a competitive, heavily, monetized, free-to-play...
That makes me really sad.
...game, yeah. I mean, it has some of the basics of Command & Conquer there, but it's a lot more cartoony. It's kind of goofy and weird. It's all about just moving your guys onto hexes. There's no base building really. It's a mobile RTS.
So if you want to play Command & Conquer, go back and play Command & Conquer Renegade.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I think go play Command & Conquer 2.
Yeah.
That's not good, no. Just play the original Command & Conquer and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the good one.
So play the N64 version of the original Command & Conquer.
No, don't do that. Whatever, don't do that. Play it on the PC. I think GOG's probably got it or some shit. Or
now, to be fair, the Command & Conquer 3 on the Xbox 360 isn't a bad game. It actually plays pretty well.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, Command & Conquer always had problems with, and so did StarCraft, to be fair. It took them a while to figure out console controls.
Well, at least in that
arcade
game, you couldn't play split screen,
Yeah.
like in StarCraft 64, which was really dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not any good.
Because you could play on big game hunters on StarCraft 64.
Yeah.
Like one-on-one split screen.
Yeah.
It's really dumb.
Oh, I see you're building an Ultralisk over there. Haha.
Oh, I see. Oh, Evan, I see you're building 18 carriers. I guess I'll make scrap everything I have and build all missile turrets and Goliaths. That's something that actually happened.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's real life, based off real life events.
That's why you don't play competitive split screen games ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. As for me, I played some things this week. Brock was very surprised to hear that I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 this week.
I'm so jealous.
Because I played a lot of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 this week because I forgot how good that game was.
Game's so rules.
Good God, that game is
What were you
still
playing it on?
so good. Dreamcast.
Oh.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I was telling Drew, I just got I VGA modded my game, Dreamcast. So now it plays through my VGA port, so it now plays 480p rather than through crappy composite cables. And the games on the Dreamcast now look amazing once you actually do that. Like, it was a cheap mod to the system. I think it was like $80, but it more than makes up for it in how the games look. But the big game I was sort of been playing this week, but I don't have too much to say about it because I just got it on Friday. Even though I've put 13 hours into it already, Octopath Traveller.
Ah, yes, that game came out that you said you really wanted to play.
Yeah. Guess what? It's really good.
It's really good?
It's really good.
Features owls. I know there's owls in it. You can't say there's no owls in it.
There are owls in it. There are owls with spears that will murder you.
Owls confirmed.
There are some things I want to say about the game, and this sort of, because I think the review scores have been hit and miss with this, especially like Jason Schreier's review, if you read that, is really negative, whereas some of the other reviews are like extremely positive.
Does Jason Schreier know about video games?
Well, he knows a lot, actually.
What?
But and his review actually makes some really good points. So
Okay.
This is what I want to get into. So first of all, if you come into this game expecting a Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI sort of like big overarching story with like really interesting character dynamics, like sort of the characters playing off each other, that's not what this game is.
Well, that's what I want.
Yeah, like
when are they going to make that fucking game?
Well, they already did. It's called Persona 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they didn't make it.
Well, no, but someone else did.
Okay, all right. I'll go back to play Persona 5.
Yeah, because Persona 5 is that.
Fuck it, I'm just going to play Persona 4.
Because literally, Octopath Traveller's story is literally the opposite of that game, where it is very much 8 siloed stories. It's like kind of like 8 short stories.
Yeah.
Like the closest comparison I can make to it as far as other games storytelling is Battlefield 1. Because it almost feels like each character's story is like its own little vignette. Where like it's really like...
To be fair, FF6 is a lot like that.
True.
Right? Like there is all this stuff where they set up like different characters and like they have like an A, B, and a C story, right?
Right.
You know, like you have all this stuff happening when they all get split up and all different stuff happens on different parts of the world.
Right.
But then they'll bring it back together again for this grand epic.
Yeah.
You know, save the world. Oops,
Now,
we didn't save the world.
I'm going to spoil something for you. Something that it doesn't actually. I'm not going to say how this happens, but in one of the guides we got from out of Japan, like one of the gameplay guides, there is, after you beat all 8 stories, there is an overarching thing that happens that brings everything together. Like there's a final boss with a final dungeon and a story, like something that happens in the story that brings all the 8 characters together.
Interesting.
But while you play the game, each character has their own 4-chapter arc. And basically, as you experience that story, you only ever play as have that one character interacting. So if you're looking for like banter between the characters, this game doesn't really have that. Which I know for some people is not something they're looking for. Like they're really looking for that sort of the intimate relationships between the characters, and you don't really get that in this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that being said, I really like how refreshing that is, where they're really trying something different with the story this time around. Like I feel like much more invested in Primrose's story as an example, because she was the person I started with, because I'm experiencing it from just entirely from her perspective, and kind of like the other characters are sort of there because they're traveling together sort of to make sure that they can complete their own goals, essentially. And to be fair, you can recruit whatever characters you want. In theory, the game scales to how many characters you have. So you can choose just to recruit 4 characters And that's it. And that can be your whole party for the rest of the game if that's what you want to do. Or you can recruit all 8 and then do all their stories. It's completely up to you how you want to approach it.
Cool.
So I really like how they do something different. That said, the visual style in this game, we've talked about it before, and the music are breathtaking. Especially the music in particular is like really, really sets us apart from all other games. It's fully orchestrated. It's absolutely incredible. I'm so glad that I sprung for the collector's edition, which, by the way, you will see an unboxing for by the time you're listening to this. It's going up on Sunday, so you probably have already seen it by now. It comes with a soundtrack with it, with amazing music.
Cool.
I can't recommend this game enough for people who like RPGs who don't mind the segmented story beats, essentially.
All right.
But I'm also not very far in again. I'm only 13 hours in because that includes my time with the demo. Because literally the demo, as we talked about, the prologue demo is the first 3 hours of the game, and your save carries over, and you just start from where you left off. It's a super seamless process. Like when you start up the game the first time, it sees, hey, you have demo data. We'll just load that and start from there.
Which is amazing. I love that feature.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Dishonored or Prey demos that Bethesda does.
Cool.
Which is really cool. So before we get into the news wrap up, Drew, you left the room, so I wasn't able to do this.
Yeah.
But last time when we made the N64 classic list,
Yes.
you challenged me to make a particular classic list on my own
Yeah.
for the next time we did this.
Oh, I did. I don't
did.
remember.
You
this
don't
was
remember.
like 100 episodes ago, so
Yeah. So Drew,
Dare you forget?
what a son of a bitch I am.
on that show,
Yeah.
I gave you the Sega CD classic list.
Oh.
You said, you know what would make you go a step further?
What?
Making the 32X classic list.
Yes.
Drew, I have created the definitive list for the 32X classic.
Is it just all the titles in the 32X? There are only like 20 of them?
No, there's more than 20 of them.
Okay.
In fact, there's 52.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's more than I thought.
Wow.
So here are the games that will be in the 32X classic.
Okay.
When it releases. Doom,
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars Arcade. By the way, the best part about Doom on the 32X is it's literally just the shareware version of Doom.
Huh.
It's like the first set of levels. That's it.
Knee deep in debt?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Virtua Fighter. You got to have that. It's when the first time they actually experimented with polygons on the system. Like when you play the Sega Genesis version of Virtua Fighter, it's just a 2D game.
Like Faceball?
Kind of like Faceball.
Baseball.
Literally, you brought up Faceball the last time we talked about the Sega CD Classic, too. I'm
Goddamn
very
right I
proud of
did.
you. Spider-Man Web of Fire.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's just dangerous.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds...
That is not very good. That's a Spider-Man weakness right there. Actually.
Yeah, you know how you
walking around.
You know how you get rid of spiders? You burn them.
I don't know why he doesn't have more fire-based enemies.
Literally,
Yeah.
the end of the movie Arachnophobia, they burn the spiders. Like, come on, guys.
What about the end of Eight-Legged Freaks where they use Head and Shoulders to destroy the spiders, which was a very weird product placement.
Yeah.
It's also a very weird
Also
movie.
terrifying that you put that on your head after
Yeah.
if it kills spiders.
Yeah.
Because spiders are kind of human-like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're at least living creatures. Like, what's that all
Well,
about?
they don't kill humans.
That movie starred Joey Fatone.
Wait.
That's true.
Are you telling me that the spiders and eight-legged freaks are made out of dandruff?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
they had a lot of dandruff. Not to be confused with the spiders from Wild Wild West, which were made out of mechanical robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're robot
they were
spiders.
just the one spider, really.
Was it just the one spider?
Just the one, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's
remember
a-
that movie. It was fucking horrible.
It's better that you don't.
The whole Kevin Smith anecdote about that whole thing. So the whole thing about the guy who produced Wild Wild West was originally helping produce the original Superman Returns thing, which was about like the death and return of Superman, and he was working with Kevin Smith, and the whole thing about this guy was like he just somehow had inserted himself into this movie, and people wouldn't make it without him, even though he was like he got to the position he was by being someone's hairdresser or some shit. Anyway, he just kept pushing everyone. Like he just kept saying that they had to have a giant spider in it. And he's like, because a giant spider is the most dangerous animal in the animal kingdom. And so eventually the movie like fizzled out. Obviously, and that movie that was going to be the one like with Tim Burton and like Nicolas Cage. It never got made.
Yeah. Thankfully.
And then years went by, and Kevin Smith is thinking about these like the giant spider stuff, and then all of a sudden, fucking Wild Wild West comes out, and the guy produced that, and there's a giant spider in the third act. So giant
Welcome
spider is very
everybody to the
important.
Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad movie.
Back when we had hip hop song tie-ins for all the Will Smith movies.
For everything. Yeah.
Where he made his own song for every movie it was in.
Yeah.
To save the money.
Yeah. Well, remember the movie Walking to Miami?
Welcome to Miami.
Good Lord.
Yes. All right. So
More 32X games.
More 32X games.
Night Trap.
Oh shit!
The 32X version of Night Trap.
Can't forget Night Trap.
Was that one of those like weird Sega CD 32X hybrid games?
No, but I'm going to get to one of those in a bit.
Okay.
But Night Trap came out on the 32X and it was really bad.
As a cartridge game?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Somehow it ran.
All right.
It didn't run very well though.
Okay.
NBA Jam Tournament Edition, which is probably the best. Like that's probably the closest arcade port we've gotten of that game.
I would expect so. Yeah.
Yeah. Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure also
was-
made the Sega CD list.
That was
and
a
made
good
this as
game.
well.
I like that game.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. Way to bring Pitfall back.
I've never played. No, I played a Pitfall. Didn't like it.
Pitfall?
Yeah.
On
The original
Atari
Pitfall?
2600?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pitfall: The Mayan Adventure though is like a Super Nintendo game that's a side-scrolling action game. It's
Yeah,
actually
that's
pretty
one
fun.
I played.
Remind me when this is
Side-scrolling.
done. There's something I want to talk about.
Well, no, the original Pitfall is also one as well.
Okay.
We're going to talk about some after this. So
I don't want to talk about my
Yeah.
sex life.
It's not-
It's
but
too
it's-
dark for the show.
Knuckles Chaotix. Speaking of Sprox
50 Shades of Brock.
sex thing, Knuckles Chaotix has to be on here because it's the only Sonic game on here.
What is Knuckles Chaotix?
It's a game where you play as Knuckles and you are tied to another like animal character, like you're tied together. You can't move more than like a foot apart.
That sounds really unpleasant.
Yeah, that sounds like torture.
But you can
Yeah.
use but it's like when you're tied together, you access a spring, so you can spring like Knuckles like off on different angles and
What?
stuff.
Is it good? Is it good, Ryan?
It's not terrible.
It's on the 32X, so I already know
It's
the
not
answer to that question.
it's not the worst Sonic game. It's not Sonic 3D Blast, okay?
Is it Shadow the Hedgehog? Is it?
It's better than that game.
Okay, all right.
Shadows.
Because it's a
of
2D
War.
Sonic game that
Sure,
actually
yeah.
is fun. Afterburner. Again,
Afterburner.
a very good arcade port of Afterburner.
Almost arcade perfect on the 32X.
Yeah.
I get that.
So then one of the Sega CD games, and probably the only one on here, Fahrenheit, which is about a firefighter.
Well, naturally.
Put out fires. That's what the game
Oh,
is about.
it wasn't
Absolutely.
tied into the movie.
But it was like a Sega CD cross 32X game.
Weird.
But you can actually, through the magic of the 32X Classic, you'll be able to play it.
Okay.
Without the Sega CD attachment.
All right.
Next up, Slam City with Scottie Pippen.
Getting
Hey,
slammed.
that's the name of my sex tape.
Scottie Pippen,
Slam City?
when Michael Jordan had Chaos in the Windy City, Scottie Pippen had Slam City with Scottie Pippen.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good old Scottie Pippen.
And
Yeah.
last but not least,
Always getting slammed.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, again, another like close to arcade.
Yeah, that's what one of the cool things about the 32X is it had a couple games where like they basically took the arcade game and put it on the 32X like almost as is.
It's just you had to put a strap onto your Sega Genesis to make it work.
Right.
Which was there was all kinds of weird jankiness about it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Yeah, wait, that's how y'all gonna be all like mean like that? Yeah, cool.
Cool.
All
That's
right.
my list. All right,
Honestly,
what do you
there's
want to
some
talk
good
about?
games
first?
on there. All right, I saw a motion picture yesterday that we have to talk about. I saw Ready Player One.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie.
Speaking of, so Ready Player One, it's basically like the video game movie of video game movies, and so much as that is based on a novel that's like has a lot of heavy nostalgia in it for like the 80s, and it is about like a future where everybody lives in virtual reality, where they don't live in virtual reality, but like that's
They've all got PlayStation VR headsets.
yes, essentially, and that is like it is like the main pastime. And there's one sort of like shared world, one MMO that everybody plays that's worth trillions. Well, half $1 trillion is the number that they use.
Have you seen Willy
Called
Wonka and the
Oasis.
Chocolate Factory?
It's like that.
It's like that in VR.
I've seen the
with
original
VR.
one.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
think
exactly the
Yeah.
same. It's the same story, pretty much.
Yeah, and-
There's
and
3
the-
stages,
Yeah.
and I've read the book. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
I liked the book. It was cheesy but good.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, pop culture reference. I get that.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
They do-
It's like
they-
cotton candy of books.
They kind of do that a lot in the movie too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it was directed by Steven Spielberg, and a bunch of it is about sort of like the nostalgia for the era when he was directing. But it's funny because it specifically references not a lot of Spielberg stuff.
Yeah, he didn't want a lot of his stuff in there.
But he had a lot of other people stuff, so like there's a lot of Back to the Future references.
Yeah.
There's 2 very, very heavy-handed Back to the Future references. He drives the DeLorean time machine.
That's because the author drives the DeLorean time machine too.
Right, right. And then there's
Nice.
the Zemeckis cube, which is the thing that freezes time, which is a Rubik's cube. But yeah, it's interesting because the whole thing is it's like they have to find an Easter egg in the virtual world for which the clues are very difficult to decipher, and whoever finds them inherits the company because the guy who that was his dying wish or whatever. And then there's like this evil corporation. This is the part that I don't know if it's like this in the book. It's the part that makes no sense. Is like there's this evil corporation that is sort of like the second biggest competitor to the company that runs the GameCube or the GameCube. The was it Game something? I can't remember the name of the company.
It's like the Oasis.
Yeah, Oasis is the name of the game. The game company is called the Gameonomics or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a competitor to that company, and they're basically trying to like, cheat their way into finding this thing so they can get the company. So they've hired people to basically play the game round the clock to try to like figure out all the challenges and stuff.
So then they can replicate it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, so that they can get the Easter egg, and then they would inherit the company.
Right.
And then they would merge the two companies to be the biggest company in the world. And they do kinds of like evil stuff where they're like kidnapping people and murdering people all the time. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, so I guess like this is like a world where like it's this dystopia where like the police don't really do anything, except at the very end the police just show up and arrest the CEO of the evil company, and they're like, "We've got you now," because he's running around the streets with a gun.
I don't think that's how the book ends.
Really
and then out of nowhere, there's like a character. There's a guy who's like pushed out of the company, and there's this whole thing about like him and like he shows up at the end and goes like, "Okay, the company's yours now. You guys found the Easter egg," and you're like, he doesn't work for the company anymore. What's he doing there?
That kind of sounds like the ending of Tron.
There's all kinds of stupid
Tron.
shit. Yeah, well,
there's a lot of Tron references in the movie. Isn't there? They're in the trailer alone.
Yeah,
there's a Halo reference, which is so weird.
There's a lot of weird stuff. There's like they obviously made deals with Microsoft because there's a bunch of like this Halo and a few other things.
Yeah. They're using HoloLens technology, aren't they?
Yeah. And then like there's at one point like the Halo RPG is sort of like a featured weapon, and
that's so weird.
A few other things.
Yeah, because the Spartan and the elites are in it and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blink and you miss it cameos. There's like things where like Akira and stuff are in there though too.
Yeah, the motorcycle from Akira, which is pretty dope. It was got the big Atari sticker on it. Or like
so weird.
Like I thought that like the Iron Giant was just going to be like a clever like one-off thing. No, it's a huge plot point.
The Iron Giant is in the book.
Yeah, but it's a huge plot point in the movie. It's like they're building the Iron Giant. And they're like, now it's time to use the Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant holds up. That movie is dope.
Yeah,
it is a great.
It's Vin Diesel
movie.
at his best.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah. I am Groot. But I mean, it wasn't a great movie. It was fun.
I didn't think so.
It was stupid. It was a stupid popcorn movie. I was expecting more from it than that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were. But I think Brock sort of hit the nail on the head. Reason like people who read the book, who have a great love for the book, really know what it is, and that is like it's like a cheesy popcorn book.
It's
there's
very
nothing.
Cheesy.
This is like honestly, the first Jurassic Park is like that. Like Jurassic Park is like is your classic sort of like pulp sci-fi, or I don't even say pulp, but like pop sci-fi. It's like it's just a page turner. There's nothing really. There's not a huge amount of depth there. I mean, it's nothing that Crichton hadn't done in Westworld before anyway. So, yeah. It was an interesting game, or interesting movie.
That we just never talked about because
that references, references tons of video games, and that's just kind of how it is. Yeah. And a lot of weird 80s stuff.
See, that's why I wasn't really like interested in seeing it, because I don't like watching movies or playing games that are like overly referencing on nostalgia. So stuff like Retro City Rampage, for example, is a game that really turned me off because it's all references to other things.
I mean, to be fair, and it could have been this. The movie could have been a movie like literally about nostalgia, because nostalgia is a huge portion of it, of like sort of like the themes of the story.
The 80s.
Yeah.
Well, like the whole.
God, I hate the 80s.
The whole like thing is like it's like the guy grew up in the 80s and he created everything in the game world in the Oasis is like references 80s stuff because it's all stuff that he loves.
Right.
The problem with the book is it's only 80s and there's no 90s or anything else, so it's kind of weird that pop culture just died after that.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Or just he doesn't have any interest in it anymore. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but it's kind of a fun romp if you're interested in it. And I thought it was going to be more about video games or have more of a message, but it doesn't really have any of those things. In the end, it just kind of settles for saying nothing and doing not a lot. So here we are.
Excellent. All right, so let's run through these news stories before we go. There's only a few of them.
Yeah, it is the summer after all.
Yeah, so first up, Bandai Namco has announced Code Vein has been delayed from its September 28th release date until sometime next year. The reason for the delay was, quote, to further refine its gameplay in an effort to exceed the expectations fans already have for the title. That bums me out because I was actually really looking forward to this game, but in a way, I think it's good for them because they were releasing the same week as Tomb Raider and some other stuff, and a week before everything else coming out. So I think it probably would have gotten lost in the shuffle. But I'm really looking forward to that game. It's like anime Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It's not my alley, but probably no one else is here.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. It looks sweet. So next up, and this really surprised me, THQ Nordic has announced Darksiders 3 will in fact launch in 2018.
I don't know why you didn't think this was coming out this year.
Well, they kept saying it was coming out this year, but all we had seen is like the earliest of early alpha gameplay for this game.
Yeah, there was not a lot.
It also was not at E3, so I was like, I don't think this game's coming out this
I
year.
don't know. That's pretty.
They were too busy watching
This
soccer.
they don't care. This game's gonna suck anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Just put it out.
Yeah, it's coming out on November 27th, so it's like
I don't think there's any faith behind this game. No one really wants this game.
I gotta tell you right now, I loved Darksiders 1. I thought Darksiders 2 was like a complete failure in terms of like story execution.
they really moved away from
Like gameplay.
what made Darksiders 1 good.
Yeah, it just was not fun. I did not like it.
Yeah.
It was super weird. Yeah, and this one seems even stranger. You know, like
Yeah.
It seems really cheesy.
he plays a hot chick with fire whips.
Yeah.
which I guess
Like,
is the
what,
thing.
What year is this?
She's Fury.
Well, they're all set in the future.
I know, but it seems like a game that would have came out 10 years ago.
It does.
That's the problem.
Are you trying to say it's a lot like Dante's Inferno?
Yes.
It's the
yes, I am.
four horse people of the apocalypse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this will be the third Horseman of the Apocalypse, and then we'll have another one for Darksiders 4.
Strife.
I don't think we'll ever get.
And then
that
when we
one.
get to Darksiders
I think
5,
we're gonna just be surprised if the fourth one ever comes out.
But they said then when Darksiders 5 comes out, that's when you get to play as all 4 characters.
Oh, good. And then there'll be a Darksiders Battle Royale game.
If only.
Yeah.
If
Here's
only
the
we could
deal.
be so
I
lucky.
want this game to be good, but I don't think
It's a cool concept, but yeah. I'm with you on that one. But I know that it's a bit of a cult classic. I know that a lot of like the bigger sites, for example, report if you listen to podcasts from like other sites, they'll talk about how
which you shouldn't. But
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know why you would.
you know, but
You only need one.
like people talk about all the time where like the perception for some reason is that Darksiders doesn't do well, but anytime there's a news story about Darksiders, it performs super well as far as clicks go. So it sounds like there's some buzz about Darksiders.
Again, I have an interest in the world and the characters, and I would love to see another game. But after the second one, which I know other people liked a lot more than I did, but after the second one, I don't have confidence that it's going to. But I mean, this is a completely different team at this point, so who knows what this is going to be?
Yeah, for sure.
I hope they get back to more Darksiders 1, which was more like a Zelda-like game, more like an Ocarina.
That was one of the appealing things about Darksiders 1.
Yeah.
It was very much just Zelda, but on other platforms, and you play as someone that's not Link
Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah. It was essentially a 3D Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So next up, we've got the 2 Uncharted stories I hinted at the top of the show. They're weird ones. First one, Nathan Fillion has been teasing something Uncharted related coming on Monday. He was teasing this on his Instagram account. Like he posted a picture of Drake the rapper and then had an Uncharted quote underneath, and he's like, "See you on Monday."
TV
So,
show.
Something's
Confirmed.
coming up. We don't know anything about this, and you probably already know what the announcement is by the time you're listening to this because this comes out on Monday. But it sounds like Nathan Fillion is teasing something Uncharted related. That's happening. We already know that the Uncharted movie was announced with Tom Holland as young Drake.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is some kind of announcement that Nathan Fillion's somehow in that movie.
Oh my God, Nathan Fillion will finally get a movie
Yeah,
as a star.
maybe.
Well, I mean, he has Slither.
Yeah, we don't talk about Slither.
Yeah.
Slither's actually pretty good.
Well, no, he wouldn't.
Slither's pretty good.
Well, again, we wouldn't start because we know the movie is going to be all about young Drake.
Maybe he's just showing up at
with Tom Holland. So maybe he's like the idea that I heard kicking around was the idea of him being like old Drake, telling the story about young Drake doing stuff,
Right.
What if
like
he's,
young Drake's adventures to like
What if
Atlanta or
he's
something.
Drake's brother with the shitty mullet?
No,
No.
he can't be that.
That'd be weird.
You actually, the problem with Drake's brother is he looks exactly like Troy Baker. So if you didn't have Troy Baker in that movie, it would be weird.
He looks like Troy Baker, but with
a mullet.
With a shitty mullet.
Yeah,
This is the part I never understood.
yeah.
He's like, he doesn't seem charming. He just seems like a dirtbag all the time.
He does.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, I was
really
like,
does.
oh, good. Here comes that filthy fucking dirtbag again.
Hey,
He's definitely going to double cross me like 40 times. And they're like, wait, Drake, why are you trusting him? You know he's a filthy dirtbag.
But he's family, Drew.
yeah, family sticks together.
That's what we learned in the Fast and the Furious.
Until they screw you over and take your stuff.
It's about family, just
Yeah.
like the Fast and the Furious, Drew.
It is true. That's true, yeah.
The other weird Uncharted story we got, According to Jonathan Cooper, who is a new animator over at Naughty Dog, one of the first things he learned when starting at Naughty Dog on the animation team is the mystery behind why Nathan Drake has regenerating health, and that he doesn't actually have regenerating health.
He's very lucky.
He's very lucky. So basically the red UI when you get shot in the game is actually the bullets missing Drake, and as you get closer to dying, it eventually Drake's luck runs out and he gets shot.
Odd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
why
really weird.
there's no trails of blood or anything in that game.
Yeah.
It's not like he
That's
gets-
Or why he doesn't have
Not-
bullet
not
wounds or
because
anything.
Okay.
yeah. Otherwise, he would be like the guy would die of lead poisoning by now
Right.
if he was shot and
He'd
then
be
recovered
Tom
from it.
Hardy and Lawless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Eventually, and according to the quote, eventually enemies will get a clear shot and kill him if it takes enough. If he gets enough near misses.
I'm not gonna lie. Like it's much harder to shoot someone than you probably think it is.
Probably.
It's shooting people and actually hitting them is hard,
Yeah.
especially from a distance. And then doing that like while you're running and out of breath and stuff.
It also
That takes some pretty serious training.
It also explains why in Uncharted 4, for example, you see signs of Nate taking physical damage from being punched in the face, but then you don't see the same damage on him from getting shot because he's actually getting
It's almost
punched in
like
the
they
face.
didn't want a mature rated look.
Yeah. I don't know.
Weird.
It's really weird.
All right, that's enough Uncharted talk.
Yeah. All right. Last news story, which none of us here, I don't think, care about, but I should read it off anyways. Activision has announced the beta test dates for Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Nope.
The multiplayer beta will kick off on PS4 on August 6th, while the Xbox One and PC beta will start on August 10th. There will also be a Blackout beta, which is the Battle Royale mode, coming sometime in September. We don't know when.
Get your racial slurs ready, kids. You have time.
No. Please don't do that.
It's really inappropriate.
Yeah. The look on Drew's face when Brock said this. With the look of disappointment.
That's why I don't
come
play
to
Call
know.
of Duty.
Yeah. Again, I'm not really excited about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 this year. It doesn't have a campaign, which is what I want from Call of Duty, so I'm kind of just like, meh. It's probably the one year I won't buy Call of Duty. All right, last thing, let's talk about new releases this week. We got Sonic Mania Plus, which is the DLC expansion for Sonic Mania. It's a standalone game, but it's coming to all versions of Sonic Mania. And it has two weird-looking Sonic characters. I don't know if you've seen these, Brock.
They're really weird.
They look really
They've been
dumb.
in past games though. There's a yellow one.
Yeah.
They're in the comics, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember their names because
Yeah. I used to read the comics religiously.
Okay.
The yellow one?
The yellow one.
There's like
I
a
can't
yellow
remember. And the
guy-
other one's a pink one, isn't it?
No, he's like brown and he's
Okay.
got like a little bit of like red fur. He's like a squirrel. It's weird. It's Sonic. It doesn't need to make sense.
Is Big the Cat in this?
No.
Then fuck it. Why do I care? Like bring Big the Cat.
Well, 'cause Sonic Mania is a good game. That's why we care.
No. Big the Cat or nothing.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Or give me that weird green bird and Big the Cat. I don't even know the green bird's name. All I know is I like him.
Yeah. He's from Sonic Riders.
Sonic Riders.
Yeah.
Best Sonic game.
Next up, Far Cry 5 Lost on Mars, the DLC expansion for Far Cry 5.
Oh,
That
yeah,
takes place on Mars.
They came out.
With bugs. It's coming out on Tuesday.
Were they counter programming remastered edition?
I don't know, if only.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they were.
By the way, that game apparently not good.
No?
Port not good. Not
Port
well
not good?
received.
No.
Heard some things in the forums, people taking dumps on that.
It's also like there's no reviews for it either.
Yeah.
There's hardly anyone who actually even reviewed it. So there's that. 20XX comes to PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. It was a PC only game, and Drew might like this because it's very much like a Mega Man X clone.
Yeah,
and it looks really cool.
It's a like a procedural like roguelike Mega Man X clone.
Yeah, which is totally up my alley, and I think it's probably up yours as well. And last but not least, Tempest 4000, aka the only announced game for the Atari VCS, comes out this week on all platforms.
Yeah.
But also, it's coming to the VCS eventually when that console comes out, if that ever comes out. And that's it. That's everything. That's all the news we got for this week. So before we go, Drew plugs go.
I'm at D McBill on Twitter. Also, I just want to say this is for the boys and girls out there. Everybody out there, boys have penises and girls have vaginas, but that doesn't mean you have to like pink or have long hair or listen to a particular type of music or play with dolls. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. It doesn't matter what's in your pants. Live your best life.
Well, all right then.
That's me giving you a little bit of sex ed straight from the heart.
Excellent.
Nothing about that was weird at all.
No,
Yeah.
of course not.
All right.
And,
left field.
One of my favorite like memes being passed around right now is like if the Ontario government won't teach your kids sex ed, then Dylan will. And it's a picture of this middle-aged guy, and he's like giving the thumbs up.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Brock, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Brock McLaughlin. You can find me on anything at Brock McLaughlin. Why are you looking at me like that, Drew?
I'm waiting.
You might be on the website at Brockstar Gaming.
I'm waiting for you to say something really dirty so I can laugh.
I had nothing weird today. It wasn't a weird. We didn't even go off the rails once today.
But you said at the very beginning it would be a weird show.
I did not. I said I was just feeling different today.
I thought
I'm
we
feeling
both
very
heard this.
mundane today.
I strongly suggested that I wanted to see the penis of the guy from Resident Evil 4 when
we all
with the
did.
trench coat.
Yeah,
Like, he
no,
kept
it just brings
opening-
you back-
He would open and be like,
What are you buying?
What you buying? And his dong would just be
What are you
Yeah,
selling?
this reminded me of my uncle.
flapping in the wind.
Ooh, I'll pay a high price for that.
Yeah.
He was a good old flasher.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it for me.
I love that guy. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford. That's TURFORD. You can also find us, the Game Moose Podcast, on Twitter at game_moose_cast. On Facebook at facebook.com/Game Moose Podcast. Our website, game-moose.com, where you can find all the game moosiestness of ness. Last but not least, I put up a couple videos this week. So unboxing videos. That seems like all I'm doing lately is just unboxing videos of things. So this week, again, the Project Octopath Traveller unboxing of the Wayfarers Edition is up. There will be another unboxing video coming later this week, and then other things. We'll see. I'm gonna talk about what's happening next month in a few weeks. But get excited if you like World of Warcraft, like me. You're gonna be excited about that. Anyways, for Drew McMillan and Brock McLaughlin, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 130 of the Game Moose Podcast, and we're out.
Bye!